God, I hope that looked cool. If you're familiar with the prairies, you know July in the prairies is all about canola fields. They're only yellow, bright, vibrant yellow for a couple of weeks, and then they turn. So today's the day we're gonna go out, see what we can find, just like this. Let's see if we can find an old barn, a grain elevator, whatever we can find. We're gonna spend the day driving around. Let's go. Park the Falcon, driving down the road, here we go. We're not far from where I just did the intro, but there's another barn right there. And I think if I pop on the 70 to 70 and pull it into 70 mil, I can pull that red barn in a little bit. If not, I'll pop on the 70 to 200. That might work kind of well, having that bright red barn. Hopefully you can see it in the GoPro, but it's directly underneath or directly above my finger right. So canola field, red barn. I'm not worried about these power lines at all because I can easily paint those out in Photoshop. If I walk down here in between these two power poles to get away from the power lines, then I lose the barn and the trees in front of it. So this is a good angle, maybe even a little more this way would be better. So kind of right here. Let me grab the camera out of the Falcon and put you on live view and show you what I mean. Okay, so that's you at 70 mil. I'm kind of thinking like that. If not, we'll pop on the 70 to 200 and get a little more compression. We'll just kind of figure this out as we go along here. All right, so I got you on the camera. Rule of thirds, red barn to the left on the rule of thirds. Horizon line is there, blue skies. I'm gonna dial in my polarizer. Actually, that would be good for you to see too. Let me click you on live view. Okay, so we got you on live view. And just watch what the polarizer does here on the sky. If I turn that, see how it goes bright? And then the color comes in and the definition in the clouds happen. That's what we're gonna try to do today. All right, let's take the first shot of the day. ISO is 400 because I had to increase the ISO with the polarizer on. F8, 3/20th of a second. Pop the shot, see what we got. All right, so there you are in live view. Now, that's 17 mil, what I just shot the photo in. If I zoom in, you see how that canola field comes closer, the barn comes closer? That might be a better shot there. So let's pop you off, put you back on here. Let me look through my viewfinder, see what I can get here. My shutter speed is gonna change because of the polarizer not being on this lens. I'm gonna go a little tighter. I'm gonna put the barn on the right-hand side on this shot because there's some grain bins there that I wanna put in this shot as well. That just adds more to the shot for this one. So we've got three things happening. You've got the yellow of the canola field, the red of the barn, and then the silver stainless steel aluminum grain bin as well. So let me check for cars. I'm gonna walk out here a little bit, make sure I'm in the frame. Here we go. So I'm gonna focus in on those grain bins. There we go. I'm gonna put the canola field more into frame on this shot, then sky. Have that barn on the opposite side rule of thirds. And then I'm gonna focus in on the canola field and have the barn blurry in the background. Out of those three shots, the last one with the canola in focus leading back into the blurriness of the barn, I'm kind of leaning towards that one, just looking at the back of the camera. This isn't about, portfolio shots. This is about documenting a beautiful summer day in Alberta. But out of those three shots, the last one where the canola's in focus and the barn is blurry, Out of those three, that might be the one I stick to, just looking on the back of the camera, but we'll see what it looks like on my computer. But for you guys, here it is now. Location 1 done. Let's hop back in the Falcon and drive around, see what else we can find. Sometimes I'm an idiot. Didn't turn on the microphone, shot a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of came off like this. No microphone on. Let's reshoot. So what I just said was driving down the road, saw these two trees here. I don't want to pull out the tripod, so I've got you on my camera, and we're just going to come over here and shoot these shots. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this tree and this tree, each individually. For this shot, I'm going to have that tree in the left-hand side of the frame and nothing else. Then we'll shoot a shot of this tree with it in the right-hand side of the frame, kind of solo with the nice rolling hill in the background, that radio tower in the background. I'm just going to toast it and nuke it. That sapling there, I might get rid of as well. But let's start with this tree over here. So I'm going to move it to the right-hand side of the frame. Let's get you in live view so you can see what I'm talking about here. We're going to move the tree, those two trees. We're going to move that tree so it's in the right-hand side of the frame. I don't want these trees in the image. I like the sweeping hills in the background without those trees. So that means I have to walk over this way so those trees will no longer be in the shot. If I go far enough over, you see how there's a gap there now? So if I go all the way over, then I can zoom in, get my shot, and have less of those trees in the shot. If there are any of those trees in the shot, I'm going to quickly just magic brush erase them out. But here we go. Let's do this. Put the camera up to my eyeball, switch it to photography mode. Single spot focus on the tree, 2/50th of a second, f8 ISO 100. There will be a little bit of that tree that I'll have to get rid of on the right-hand side. I don't do a lot of Photoshop stuff, but that's an easy fix to get rid of that. You decide what you want to do in your stuff. I decide what I do in my stuff. It's art. It's all art. It's all interpretation. Just do what you want to do. There is no right or wrong. Let's do the other shot. Back in live view. So before we had that tree in that side, now we're going to do this tree on that side. I do not want those trees, that cluster of trees, in the shot at all. And I'm not going to erase it at all in Photoshop. But if I come this way, when I zoom in, they go away. So simple and easy shot here. I think I might remove those saplings right there. We'll decide. Back into photography mode, click, camera up to my eye, move the focus spot to the left rule of thirds, zoom in just a little bit so we have no green stalks of the canola field, blue skies, puffy white clouds. Same setup, 2/50th, f8, 100. Second tree I think is going to be my favorite between those two, so. I know I'm talking fast, but I already did this demo once and didn't turn the microphone on. So hopefully the microphone's on this time. Let's go to Trochu and get some gas, and then we'll head way down south of Calgary to a place called Harrington where there's a grain elevator. By the time that happens, it should be pretty evening-ish, about 7 o'clock, but let's head to Trochu now. Grab a coffee. Like I said, I need fuel for the Falcon because the Falcon's getting pretty thirsty. She doesn't look like much, but she's got it where it counts. A little bit of driving and I've got a subject. It's a canola field and something that we're losing on the prairies. That is a grain elevator. That actually is a grain elevator at Harrington. So what I want to do is get the canola field in the foreground and then the Harrington grain elevator as the subject. I'm going to play around a little bit here. I might go super low, like let's walk down into the ditch here. I might go kind of low and then get the grain elevator in the background. I might actually, let me get out of the mosquitoes. Oh, the mosquitoes are bad. Let's bust out the camera, get you on a tripod, figure this out. Here we go. Because it's nice and bright out today, I'm not going to pop it on a tripod at all. We're going to do all this handheld and just rock it out and see what we get. I want to go f8 because I want to get a lot of this in focus to start with. Like I said, this is the 17 to 70, and we're just going to go basic, wide. In order to take a shot, pro tip number 1, in order to take a shot with a camera, take the damn lens cap off. Okay? Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. So if I go really, really wide, if I go full 17, that grain elevator becomes really, really small. The canola field really comes up, but it kind of, for me, loses the purpose of the shot because I want that grain elevator to be a pretty good focal point of the shot. I'm going to slide over so it's in the rule of thirds, so it's in the left third of the frame. I might come out a bit, kind of like that. So let's kick this off. Now you're back on here so I can see what I'm doing, and we'll get the focal point right on the grain elevator. This is going to be 1/1600th of a second, ISO 100. So we're now in the ditch. Mosquitoes are bad. I'm going to have the canola out of focus here in the front and that grain elevator in focus. Again, that rule of thirds. Now that we got that, let's pop that 17 to 70 off. We'll throw on the 24, So now that we got that, let's pop off the 17 to 70. We'll pop on a 27, what's my other lens? 70 to 200. So now that we got the, let's try this now in a different spot. Let's try that and see how that sounds. I just lost the dead cat. This little thing here is called a dead cat because, well, it looks like a dead cat. And if the wind blows, like it is now, you'll hear wind sounds. But if you put the dead cat on, it muffles that wind sound. So that's what that fuzzy thing is. And I just dropped it again. Having one of those days. Having one of those days. Okay, dead cat's on. I'll get the mic on. As a mosquito was on my cheek. Mosquitoes, hate them. Now that we've got that done, let's switch lenses. I want to pop on a 70 to 200, get some compression. We'll get that grain elevator bigger in the shot, and in the foreground, we'll have some blurred out canola fields. So sometime between putting the dead cat on, putting the camera up here, and changing a lens, that dead cat filter's gone off. I'm just having one of those days. Let's move you back because we're gonna have to go back across the road here. All right, here we are. We're in the ditch. Mosquitoes are eating me alive. You're gonna see the back of my head, but I'm gonna play with composition right now. Drop her down. Let's come over here. Focus in on that Alberta wheat pool, sign itself, squat down, pop the shot. Kill a mosquito. Let's get out of this ditch.
You know, one thing I decided to do was add a couple of shots that I didn't have time to record. One is this. There wasn't enough time to grab the GoPro and get it filming on it, so I just grabbed the camera quickly through the window of the car and got the deer as it was bolting away from me. The other one is just this blue sky, yellow canola field. It's right before Harrington. Just a simple shot, and I can't really decide what my favorite shot of the day is because I have two. There's this one, the one at the end with the canola out of focus and the wheat pool grain elevator in focus. And then there's this one. That simple, clean shot. Canola field, tree, blue sky, rolling hill in the background. You know, in the beginning I said there might not be any portfolio shots, but I actually think this could be a portfolio shot just because of its simplicity. Awesome.
What a beautiful night. I'm gonna head out now because I know looking at the horizon, those clouds on the horizon are gonna block the sun, so we're gonna lose light here right away. So I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for watching. In the meantime and in between time, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll catch you next time. This is going to be the Art House Cinematic Film School ending of my video where I just walk off into the sunset, like looking really cool. Oh, and editor photoHuch, play some really cool, badass music. Make me look cool. Oh, and put it in slow motion too.
And as always, guys, please rock the subscribe button and ring the bells for notifications. We'll check you next time.